Thank you for tuning in to the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host, Danny M. And today we have two special guests about a very hot topic. Yay,
Hello.
crazy or nah? And we have special guest, Miss Demetria Smith. Can you say hello to everyone out there?
Hello, everyone. My hat is like, I don't know what's wrong with my hat, y'all. But anyway, hello, everybody.
All right. And then our second special guest, Miss Shantira. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Most definitely. So this has been the trending topic. Is yay crazy or nah? And before we start talking, because boy, we got a lot to say. I'm gonna open it up with one small clip here from Kanye West's interview. And I want you to know that we don't stand by everything that he says, but we're gonna tell you specifically what we do stand by and what we don't. And I definitely feel free to chime in, you guys. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and comment. This is gonna be a very heated topic. I'm expecting a lot of backlash from this. Bring it. I can't wait. Make sure you share. Go to YouTube, subscribe. It'll be more of this conversation happening more often. Very honest and straightforward conversation. So I'm going to remove you ladies from the stream just for a moment, and we're going to watch this clip. One moment.
If you love it, then cool. If y'all want to rap me, it ain't going to make a difference, honestly. I done been killed so many times on social media, and I'm still here. I'm still talking. Look at me.
Do you care?
I told you I care
I'm talking
about
about how
everything.
you perceived, which could be a crazy word, perceived, as far as like how people look at you. Do you care about that?
I need people to I don't even need anything. I'm praying that people can see that Jesus won the victory. When I was making raps in service to the devil, talking about you a hoe, I love it, all this, I was in debt. Now that I'm in service to Christ, God is showing off. He's showing off in my life. He's showing off with my family.
Now, that was just a little snippet, guys. There's so much more to that interview that I won't play right here, right now. Guys, so what do you think about what Kanye is saying in that interview with Big Boy?
Y'all go ahead and speak. I might have to change rooms.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Basically, he
Uh-huh.
is saying like he was a puppet. Basically, all these rappers, singers, whatever you want to call it, they're puppets to the industry. The only ones that I know that are not is the one that's like independent. They
Right.
got their own labels. They got their masters, all that stuff. He's basically saying that he was told to call these people women the B words and the hoes and all that other stuff. But he's saying he only did that for money because he was in debt. He needed money. That's what they told him to do. And now he leveled up. He got into fashion. You know, he's making all this money. He controls his own narrative now.
Uh-huh.
No, like they said, nobody can cancel him. He does what he want to do. He say what he want to say.
Take me out. Take me out real quick. I can't do it.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna come back real quick.
So let me add to what you were saying because you just hit it on the head. So a lot of what happens with people that are in the industry, and I like what Titan Spartan just said about the industry plants. That's real talk. A lot of people they have to get through the gatekeepers, right? The gatekeepers are the people who hold all the money. You know, the ones that's issuing out all the checks to all the rappers, letting them go get in debt with these chains and these
Yes.
golds and the grills and the $500,000 homes or multi-million dollars home. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about average income worker. My bad. Multiple $1 million homes, right? And property. These are the gatekeepers. These are people who are telling you, hey, we need to hear some griminess. We need you to talk about, pow 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 somebody because I'm censored, so I can't say what I really want to say. These people are influencing these guys to get out here and rap about the most evil, the most low vibrational conversations that any human can have, right? And they're thinking that this is cool because they're getting paid, they're getting the checks. But what they're not thinking about is that that is the very definition of selling your soul. Because what are you doing? People keep forgetting, the Pied Piper is real. Even R. Kelly used to say it, no pun intended, I'm the Pied Piper. He wasn't kidding. Music is the rhythm to the soul. You can actually be fed information and start changing your mood swings and doing things that you're unaware of unconsciously due to music, because it is literally a vibration. We are energy. Energy is nothing but a vibration. And so people are not thinking about how deep music in a subconscious mind really is. It's extremely powerful. So a lot of these rappers, RIP to Takeoff, by the way, they push out this content, they spew out all this content, and yeah, it sounds good, it's on a catchy beat, but they're not thinking about the message that is going through the airwaves into somebody's brain, right? You're affecting somebody's livelihood and you don't even think about it. All for $1, right? All for $1. Yeah, you still on, Miss Smith. You still on. You need to say something? Unmute you. You ready? Keep going. Okay. I'm gonna keep you on until you remove yourself, because I know I want to jump in when you're ready. So yeah, just to add on to what you said, Shantira, and I've already added a lot. I really don't think these young men and women think about how they're affecting society. Because even though you didn't sign up to be a role model, and I think I've heard a lot of different artists like Cardi B say, I'm not wrong, or even Nicki Minaj, would say, it's not my responsibility what your kids listen to. It's not. However, you still should be accountable as a human being as to what you're putting out in the world, in the universe. What do you think about that?
And most of them don't even read their contracts that they sign. You're just signing because they see dollar signs. And then years down, they're in debt. Like Kanye said, he was $53 million in debt back in, he said 07 or 15 or one of those years. And nobody wanted to help him.
Right.
They get in debt. Yeah, they're not.
They're not going to.
He had to do that by himself. He had to get out of debt by himself.
You look, you know how our people are. They can borrow money all day. Nobody gonna lend you anything when you need it. You know what I mean? So they can borrow money all day. Titan says the higher ups want them to act the fool, and they're literally pulling all the strings. Right. And that is the part that I don't understand why people can't see. So, like on that end, we're just only dealing with this part of the spectrum with Kanye. Kanye is a plethora of different spectrum. Let's be real, okay? This man has many moods, many different pieces of information and knowledge that he has to give. So we're not talking about every piece of him. We're only talking about the part of him that's talking about the gatekeepers. And that part is absolutely real. We see it every day. Nobody says anything about it. A lot of people I see riding in a car with their little kids. We're talking about 3-4 years old, bumping all this loud music. There's all this vile language, right?
Yep.
And then you wonder why your kids have a potty mouth. But look at what you're feeding their soul. Nobody's talking about that, though. I don't understand why. Why are we not talking about the conversations that need to be had? Bold and Driven says, no, he is not crazy. Being a billionaire has seen things that we will never understand. I agree.
That's true.
I agree 100%. And we can't go into everything that I'm pretty sure I know some of the stuff that he's seen, because even little old me has seen some things that are unexplainable. But, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, why are people mad? I want to know, why are people so mad at Kanye West? I really want to know the answer to that.
I think they took the George Floyd comment and it overrid what was going on with the Jews. With half the people, they're coming to me like, oh, what happened? What did he do? And I have to explain to him, he made comments about Jewish people, but if it were Black people, when it was Black people, there was crickets. Nobody said nothing.
So the question is, what did he say that was offensive, though, towards them?
Right.
That's still my question, because I listened to some of the videos backwards and forwards, and I still haven't
Even I have to say, I have to ask myself, I said, what did he say? Because I'm looking through all the blogs and stuff, and I'm like, okay, what did he say about Jewish people? And they were just like, oh, you can't talk about Jewish people. And I'm like, but what did he say though? Nobody answered until I watched the interview for myself, and I was like, but he didn't say anything bad.
He
He
didn't say
just said
anything negative. He
he
expressed
just
his
said
feelings,
right.
right? Yeah. And there's a difference. There's a clear
So
difference.
what my take, I'm sorry, I was waiting on y'all. I know y'all waiting on me because I've been quiet. But I want to listen to what you all had to say. And I think I'm gonna come at a different angle. And a different angle for me, I think it was the right time for Kanye to come out and express the truth about a nation of people, because the Jews are a separate nation of people.
Mhm.
And they're a separate nation of people who's in control of a lot. Entertainment, media, and I use the word nation for a reason. So it's so much Kanye can say and so much he cannot say, not because he's bought, not because he's a debtor anymore, because I didn't look at the fact when Kanye said he was in debt as, he owing money.
Mhm.
Kanye is in debt when he owed allegiance. Sometimes that constitute monetary, sometimes that constitute money. But more importantly, when you're in debt into a contract puts you in debt. You have an allegiance. You have to perform the duties in that said contract.
Yep.
So when he said he was in debt, that means he owed allegiance. That debt, one of those terms could have meant you can't say certain things.
Yep.
That could have been a debt he was in. He had to not perform that duty or perform that duty. When you are binding in the binding contract, everybody been in a contract or is in a contract today, whether that's a mortgage, whether that's a car, whether that's a lease, or whatever your contract is, a business contract, you have terms and conditions. You are hold allegiance to that master in that said contract. That means you are in debt to perform every term and condition in that said contract. So the way I looked at that is he having allegiance. Maybe it's a 5-year allegiance to that master. And the master are the Jews because they run Hollywood. So what did he say wrong? He didn't say anything wrong. He told the truth. And because he's no longer in debt, meaning he no longer owe a performance, no longer have allegiance to a master, he can now come out and talk about his indebtedness, what he was allowed to do, what he was not allowed to do, because they labeled him as crazy, because they need to shut his mouth in the past. And they took everything from him, his family, and defamed his name to, because they punished him because he was still in a said contract. But Kanye is now saying, hey, I'm free. I'm not in debt to anybody anymore in terms of his performance, even though he has some side deals with Adidas. And he said they did some unlawful things in their contract. They went against their own. So that tells you he's free, or at least he thought he was with Adidas. But he know how to go back and combat that. So what Kanye is really trying to say, that he broke away from bondage, from this, how I take it, bondage from the Jewish community. They are a nation. Why am I saying that? And I'm gonna give it back to you all, unless y'all just want me to keep going, but I'm not gonna stay long on this subject matter, and I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna give y'all time. What I looked at a whole different angle, and Kanye is really trying to tell the American people something. And he really trying to tell Black American, I hate to say that, trying to tell the American people something. And what he's trying to convey is one thing, and we're missing it.
Oh, can I look? I'm a student. I'm a student of you. Can I?
Yeah,
can I
go
guess?
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
He's trying to tell us, Dr. Smith, that we don't have any rights if we don't claim if wait, I'm saying it wrong, but
You're getting close.
I'm trying. Because we don't identify as a nationality of Jew, therefore we do not have the rights of that nationality, which are the Jews. So what he's trying to help us wake up and see is that we need to know who we are so that we can regain the rights of our culture, our religion, our nationality, our people. And that's the part that everybody's missing, I think. Am I
Everybody,
right, teacher?
you are. Yes, you are. You are.
I'm
To
trying.
clear it up for you. No, you're absolutely on the money. And to paint a picture for your audience, if you notice on your driver license or the driver license application, you don't see the word Jew at all. You're either black, you're either white, you're either Hispanic, or you either American, what's that, Island Pacifica, or you're Asian Alaska. That's what you will see. So you do not see Jews. The question is, how come Jews are not listed on their driver license? It's because they're not property of the United States. It's because they classify themselves as a nation of people.
Yeah.
When we classify ourselves on that driver license, we declassify ourselves as a nation of people. We got disconnected from our tribe. Kanye say he's a Jew, did he not?
Yeah,
He
did.
now claiming his nation. And can't nobody rebut that he's not a Jew. Can't nobody rebut anything. If he said that's what he is, he claimed himself back to a nation. What he's saying is, I'm not property of anybody. I'm not property of the Jews because I'm one. I have a nation. I have a tribe now. I'm not property of the state. That means I am not their citizen anymore. So therefore, you don't see the Jews getting arrested. You don't see them getting locked up. You don't see that. Why? Because they're not a property of the United States. And Kanye is trying to send a message to Black America. If you don't want to be oppressed anymore, you need to connect to your tribe. You need to find a nation that you was originally connected to, so you won't be classified as the property of the United States. He can't say it like that. He can only put it out and plant little seeds and take you down rabbit holes until you connect it. So we can't be so emotionally bound till we cannot see what he's trying to say. We have to see what he's saying, connect what he's saying, but before you connect, you got to research it. So what we cannot be as people, American people right now, is emotional, because when we become too emotional, we get lost. We miss the opportunity. We miss the message. If anybody,
I agree. I agree. And it's so hard for us not to be emotional because of all of the trauma that we've all, even our ancestors especially, have endured, and it's been passed down to us. We ourselves deal with a lot. Shantira and I were just talking about it's exhausting being, I'm using the classified term black. It's exhausting being a black person in America sometimes. Every day you're fighting with somebody, whether it's your family member, your siblings, someone at work, you're fighting to keep your job, or you're just fighting people because they're rude to you because of how you identify or the way you look. It is always some type of drama. And it's a beautiful thing being a black Jew. Let me be specific. It's a beautiful thing. However, it can also be a beautiful nightmare living in this country when things have been turned upside down on purpose. So
right,
we've purposely been separated from everything that we know. A lot of us have. There's some of us that can link back to our original lineage, and there's a lot of us that have no clue where to start. And so I
right,
love the way you expressed that, Dr. Smith, tonight, because a lot of people don't know that. So you're dropping real gems on the Sisters Talk podcast, and I thank you so much for that, because somebody needs to go back and do their homework. See, he's not as crazy as most people think he is. Crazy is definitely a what is it? It's the word crazy is relative, I guess is the best way for me to put it, because
mm,
a person is gonna appear crazy to a person who lacks a lot of information on the subject matter. You know,
right,
for lack of better words, and I'm not trying to offend anybody that's watching tonight, an ignorant person will easily say this man is crazy because you're ignorant to a lot of information about the
right,
topics that he's talking about so openly. And I actually commend him on it, because there's a lot of people at his status that would never, they would never jeopardize their wealth. They would never jeopardize their peace of mind, and they would never jeopardize their safety just to
Right.
educate people that they don't know. You
Right.
know, and I even put a statement out there the other day that a lot of people tell me, why do you go so hard trying to educate people on topics that, you know, maybe they don't even care about? And it's like, I can't help it. That's the way God made me. That is who I
Right.
am. I was designed and placed on this earth to bring people together, to network, to make sure that people get the information that has been purposely buried, right? That has been
Right.
purposely buried. And I'm so grateful to know beautiful people like you two ladies that's on the show tonight, and so many other people that I know in my life directly. I couldn't even thank God any more than what he's already done for me. You guys, especially man, Dr. Smith, you trailblaze it. I mean, there's so many things you do. We'll have to have another show to express that. What you just said was a pile of gold, and I don't think a lot of people understand how deep that was for you to even come out tonight and say that.
Oh,
Shatira,
yeah.
do you have any input on that? I'm sorry.
Oh no, well, she spoke facts. I was waiting for her to continue.
Oh, I still can. Whenever y'all ready.
I'm muting myself. Go ahead.
Anybody have questions on your side? Cause I mean, that's your comment. I just want
They are crickets. I think they're waiting for you to say some more.
Right.
to. So, yes. So, what can I say here? So they trying to get Kanye to apologize, right? They really want him to apologize to the Jewish community.
Right.
But they're coming through, how can I say, the back door and say, don't you owe the black community apology? He came around and did, you know, because he felt like he was insensitive at some point to, you know, the black community pride. But he did explain why he said what he said in reference to George Floyd. I like the fact that he's explaining himself, he's expressing. And let me tell y'all something about the expression part. See, Kanye have a voice now. He now have a voice. He always talked, when in the past he was talking a little reckless in the past. At least that's how it came across. But because I know Kanye's status, to be honest with you, because I know my status. So he has the same freedom. I'm gonna say we both have equal freedom because we know, and I think you know what I'm talking about, Danielle, right? You know, so put it like this here. I'm not even classified on that driver license either. So I can connect to him and what he's talking about. I'm no longer classified as black. I'm no longer classified as either on the driver license, which means I'm no longer a United States property either. So I understand totally. And it's hard to talk, it's hard to talk about what we know because we have broke ourselves out of bondage. We have taught ourselves, or we was willing to get taught under someone and continue to do the work and research. So I do know, and it's on the record. And it's on the record for him too. So we move a little differently. I'm not his billionaire or whatever, I'm not like that. But, you know, I'm blessed. I'm gonna say that much. So our job, and there's many more like it's a movement. When I'm telling your audience, it's a movement out here, especially for what they deem to be the black community. But it's a lot of people moving the way Kanye is moving silently, and they're moving privately, right? So if you don't know anything about that movement, you are being left behind. Or if you've heard about that movement and you think it's a joke, you're leaving your own self behind because it's real out here. Here's the other deal about this here. I don't know who this is. Here's the other deal about this. It is time to get on this movement because what your audience may not know, come December 13th. I can't see you. Okay, come December 13th, next month, there is an executive order. That executive order is 14067 by Joe Biden. This executive order is getting ready to change the fabric of the financial institution. And when it changed the fabric of the financial institution, people about to feel what slavery feels like. You're about to feel what your ancestors been through because they're trying to change it. And the way they're changing it is through, I know everybody been hearing about this, digital currency coming into effect. If you read the executive order, you have to read it through the lens as a private citizen, like Kanye. You have to read it through that lens, and I can explain it. But in this executive order will control the way you spend your money, where you spend your money, how you spend your money. It controls your pocketbook. And they may have a performance for you to do before you can buy a pizza for your family, before you can go to the address or what have them. Just putting that out there just as an example, because the way they're changing it. And they're saying it's for your safety. They always want to use safety. We're not trying to go into slavery that way. Because when they control your pocketbook, they control you as a whole, they control you as a people. So it's best that people get on this movement that Kanye is on. So if you're not paying attention to him, pay attention to this man. He's trying to blow the whistle, but he's trying to find a way to do it in a diplomatic way, in a way that people could understand. Meaning he wants controversy. Controversy not to be against him, but if you got to be against him to understand him, to follow him because you think he's crazy, he needs you to continue to follow him. He knew what he was doing when he wore the White Lives Matter shirt. He know he's a public figure. He knew it before he put it on, but he needed to get the message out there. He needed something to spark. He needed the headlines just to educate you on your nationality, just to tell you you are human. That's what he's saying. Basically, what he's saying, disconnect yourself from being a citizen, remove that verbiage, and call yourself a human. He said they jealous because he's a human. He said, I'm jealous. It was one of those, the jealous, because he used the word human. That means he's a nationalist. You got to understand, he's not property. And let me tell you something. When you claim yourself as a nation of people, or claim yourself as a national, that is a threat to what they call their democracy. Their democracy is to enslave. National people, American national, state national, is a huge threat to a democracy. Democracy is contract. If anybody ever read the 13th Amendment explicitly, if you understood it the way we understand it, it talks about contract. Like the only person that can be convicted of a crime, you read the 13th Amendment, is a party. It didn't say person, it didn't say individual, it didn't say people. The 13th Amendment didn't say anything but a party. And if you go read what a party means in Black's Law Dictionary, because that's the language, that's the legalese that all three branches of government uses, you will understand a party is a party in a contract. Anybody sign a contract, you are a party to a case. Any event, somebody want to bring a claim against the people, claim against you, the state want to bring a claim, what they're going to say, all party rise. Why? The only person can be convicted is a party. That means your slavery is in contract law. People must understand contract. Why am I saying this? Because Kanye is talking about contracts now. If he said, if you want me to apologize to the Jews, everybody sit at the table, open up the contract, expose the contract. So he wants y'all to catch what he's saying. It's the
but people can't. I don't mean to interject, but people can't catch what he's saying because people don't read. That's number one. People do not read. And number two, people do not read with understanding. They do not comprehend what they read. And the reason why they don't is because the U.S. school system is not designed for that on purpose. Because if you read with comprehension and you actually identify and know who you are, then there's no way that they can enslave you. People thought that
Correct.
that was a metaphor for many, many years, but no, this is really the truth. There's
That's
people
right.
that are working 9 to 5s is getting their pay doc right now as we speak, right? They're not
That-
paying you for when you wake up to get ready to go to work. They're not paying you for an hour worth of lunch. Some people are getting 30 minutes, 15 minutes of lunch a day. You're supposed to get an hour of just nobody bothering you. Get your mind together, eat your food, and then go back to work. They're supposed to pay you for the time it takes you to leave work and get home. All of this stuff is not happening. That's
That's
literally
right.
a white collar crime because people don't read with comprehension. People don't even know how to read contracts. You know that, right?
And but yeah, because we just want what we want to benefit us, and we feel like if we don't sign a contract, we're not going to get what we supposed to have. But what we choose to do, a lot of people do not negotiate. Because these contracts are already pre-filled, it's already pre-written for you, which means you was not at the table when they drafted the contract. You was not at the table to have a meeting of the mind. You was not at the table to negotiate your terms and conditions because it's supposed to be a two-party contract, right? When we sit at the dealership or we sit at the mortgage company, the contract is already made for us.
Exactly.
Where do we come in as people and say, hey, I want to scratch this out. I want to cross this out. I disagree with this. Well, how about we do this? Well, I want to put my set of terms in agreement. So, which means is somebody have a upper hand on the other party
Mhm.
because you don't have your terms. They don't have no allegiance to you, is what I'm saying. When they already pre-filled these contracts, we
Right.
only have allegiance to the other party. But how are they going to be able to have allegiance to us? There's only one person losing here. If we breach the contract, we're the only one losing. If they breach the contract, they don't lose nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where we have to educate ourselves as people, whether you black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, it doesn't matter. In fact, you don't see Chinese folk in the driver license application. There's a lot of nations you do not see.
Mhm.
There's a lot of nations you do not see. And you don't see them locked up either too. So we have to take a look at why we disconnected as a nation of people, why we are not looked at as a nation of people.
There
The
was a
only
clip. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, speaking to that, there was a clip that Kanye West did, and I wish I had it on me. I don't think I have it in this on this session. But he said, drink actually, Shantira, it was on Drink Champs,
Which part?
right? I don't know what minute because it was 3 hours long, but he was saying that I mean that man can talk, but he had a
I
lot to say.
know. Oh God, he can.
He can. He said that he was jealous of
Yeah,
Jews. He says that he was jealous because they know how to read a contract and understand it. He was
Yeah.
jealous of that. And that
Yeah.
broke my heart because I understood exactly what he meant. And I'm
Yeah.
saying to myself as I'm watching part of this, I'm trying to skim through the interview because it was 3 hours long. I'm like,
right.
I still don't see a single second or minute where he could have made me angry about anything that he said. Everything he said was heartbreakingly true.
Right.
True.
And I think it's a truth that a lot of African American people are just too embarrassed to admit. It's
Right.
the
Right.
truth. Like the truth does hurt sometimes, and we need to be comfortable with acknowledging and accepting it so that we can change and that we can improve and do better as a nation. Let me be specific when I say that as a nation, because we're not going to get any better by pointing the blame or saying, oh, this person's this person's that. Oh, I don't know what he's talking about. There's better ways to say it. There's no other way to say the truth other than to just simply state the truth. It just is what it is. And so Titan Spartan says they know how to work together. Now that part they do. And that's something that we need to learn how to do. But first, we have to try to understand each other's point of view. Some of us just don't even care enough to do that. I don't know. What's your take on that, Shantira? Like, do you feel like black people in particular are just quick to just shut people down that are different from them, that think differently from them?
Very. It's like I see it so much time in the comments. It's just so many like, oh, you guys, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're racist. Oh, this and that and this and that. And I'm just like, if us as a nation, if we come together, we would have got so many things done by now. Like, I don't understand where the disconnect came from. Like, why can't we be like they said, work together? where's the disconnect coming from? Why are we having so much issues at this point in time? It's
In
2020.
2022. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just like I said, when I watched the interview, because I didn't watch it at first, because I really didn't know what he was talking. I saw the bits and pieces, and then I'm like, let me sit down and actually watch it, because everybody's like, it's not what the media is saying how it is. And I know the media can twist things
Yes.
in a lot of stuff that I see. So I actually watched it and I'm like, okay, what is he saying that's wrong? I don't understand it. Like what he's saying is right. Yeah, he was talking about other stuff that, on
The
the
part
side.
I would have to say that I did disagree with is when he was talking about George Floyd, right? He was not there. Everybody could see as a nation, this man put his knee on this man's neck. Now, we're not, doctors. We didn't do the autopsy, but it was pretty apparent, right? Allegedly.
He was just saying, like he said, oh, from the Candace Owens documentary is what she said.
Got you. So he referenced what someone
He
else
referenced the
said.
Candace Owens documentary. He said, I seen it on the Candace Owens documentary that, they said that the cops injected him with the fentanyl and all that other stuff. And so he was referencing that. So I said, okay, that makes sense. You're seeing it first from Candace Owens.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because people that I talked to were making it seem as if he's like, oh, he said he didn't die by this, that. And I'm just like, huh? I'm just trying to understand. What I'm hearing and what I'm hearing other people say are two totally different things. And I think what's happening is that people are listening, but then they're reacting emotionally and they're hearing what they want to hear.
And that's what Doctor said. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. And more importantly, what I noticed a lot of backlash was from the black men, which really surprised me. So there were a lot of, and I put a post on my wall maybe about a week ago, whenever this first happened. I got a lot of emotional responses from black men. And I was really shocked. And I got some people that blocked me and everything just because I stated that nothing he said, he stated all facts. He didn't say anything that was incorrect to me in a particular clip. This had nothing to do with Drink Champs. This was on a different segment because, as we know, Kanye West does many interviews.
Yeah.
In fact, we pull up another segment here.
And I want to talk about the Jewish comment. It's actually proving the exact point that I made. So many actors been bullied behind the scenes. So you even got people like Ari Emanuel asking people to not do business with me. That's how this town has been running for so long. They'll mute you. They'll try to mute you at all costs.
What have you got to say to people that are trying to cancel you?
You can't cancel him.
I'm here. What are we talking about? We here. We ain't going nowhere, baby.
Kanye 2024.
And if I ever, if I ever went anywhere, we know why.
He meant by that. So where are the lies? Even in that snippet, where are the lies? Why is it that people want to be so hush hush on mute and they don't want to talk about the things that need to be talked about?
Right.
I don't understand. We're talking about the millennials, the Generation Xers, even some of the Gen Z's a different wave. Let me not even put them in the same equation. They speak the truth. They get on that TikTok in a minute, pulling up the facts, right? But for some reason, people like the millennial group, Gen X's group, everybody just wants to be on hush hush. I don't get that. So Titan Spartan says we act emotional to care. Black people have to start thinking logical and come to the table without judging each other. And Bold and Driven says, I heard some of us men say, I wish he would shut up. Yeah, like where is that energy coming from? That is not okay. We are no better than them when we try to mute us.
On my Facebook, I actually seen a lot of black men saying, they're actually agreeing with him.
Okay, with Kanye?
Yeah. They I forgot what they said, but they were like, Kanye is trying to tell us he's in our face and we're calling him crazy. Something along the lines of what they posted.
Oh,
And
I
a lot of
remember
people,
seeing something like
yeah, and a lot of people that I've seen on my Facebook was sharing. Black men was sharing it, so
that.
I did see that.
We don't really. So here's the thing. I really hate to make everything about race, but in this particular case, that's exactly what this is about. And it's just shocking that it's really split. So for you, Shantara, you had a different experience. I had a totally different experience than you did. I had a lot of people that were just like, yeah, if you support him, then I don't support you, type of thing. Right?
Oh,
Yeah. It is very, very polarizing takes on what Kanye West had to say. And I've listened to many clips, just like I played a few clips here tonight. I just haven't heard anything yet that makes me feel like, oh my God, what is he talking about? I just
yeah.
have not. Just my opinion. So, Dr. Smith, you have anything else to say about that? About especially about that snippet that was just played?
Well, he have a point. I mean, they want to cancel him. They want to mute him, but he's saying, I'm here. I mean, you can't. I'm not going anywhere. Basically, doesn't make sense. You're trying to mute somebody, and I'm talking right now to you. So, what he want people to do is think. He want people to pay attention to the words that coming out of their own mouths. I'm watching him lately, and lately, Kanye West is not put like this. He appearing to be combative, but he's rebutting, and it's okay. You have to rebut what's not true, because if you don't rebut to what's not true, you agree. I mean, you acquiesce to the false narrative. You acquiesce to the accusation. So he's very careful about the words that's coming out of his mouth, and he listened very attentively to the interviewers, and then he answers. He before he opened his mouth, he's a little silent, and then he answers because he want to make sure that he follow up with a statement. But first, he's going to ask you a question, and then he's going to follow up with a statement. So I like the strategy that he's using, because what he's trying to do is show America how silly this question sound, and at the same time, I'm going to rebut, but I'm going to answer you, but I'm going to answer you intelligently, whether it hurts me, whether it make me look bad or not. But he's sacrificing his whole self, is what I'm saying, to get America to see what it means to be free, what it means to be a human, what it means not to be in bondage, what it means not to be oppressed. I heard the word racism one time here, and I went back and did some more research on that. And of course, I'm looking through Black Law Dictionary, the 6th edition, when I do my research, because this is a dictionary that all 3 branches of government will use. So we talk one language, they talk another language. So to understand what they're talking about, we have to be in their territory. I mean, look at their definition, go into the Black's Law and look at what they're saying. So this is the only way we can follow what they're saying and free ourselves. It's the language. They get us mixed up with the words, the syntax, and all of that. So I went to look up what was going on in terms of the race. So race is a root word for racism. Okay, and we talked about racism a lot in the past, 2019, 2020, and we've been talking about all our lives. So when I look up the word race in the Black Law Dictionary, guess what it gave me? The description. Guess what the description it gave me? Every race in the driver license application. Just like that. It gave me in that order: race, black, white. It led me straight to what was on the driver license application. So I'm like, wait. And then I read a federal paper. The federal paper breaks that down as well, but the federal paper described exactly what on the driver license application. The root word, the federal paper. So it's a society. These races, black, white, and all that's in the driver license, is a society that it opts people into by what? Contract, when we do driver license application. So the root word of race belongs in the family of racism. And now you go look up what racism means in the Black Law Dictionary. It is a set of policies made by one person or a group of people or persons to target a group. Well, who is the group? It's the root word race. It's the classification on the driver's license. So all we're doing is contracting ourselves out of freedom. meaning I'm from the Constitution. Everything that's our speech is constitutionally protected. We have freedom. A lot of people don't believe in it because we have been oppressed as people so much, and it feels like they don't hear you. Well, they can't hear you because you opted out of a nation, because the Constitution belongs to a nation of people that classify themselves as human beings and not as property. So we contract out of that and go straight into this de facto fictitious society and be oppressed by the policy makers. So if we want to ever talk about racism, let's look at the root word race connected to what the real definition of racism is. It is a set of policies. For an example, did we not have mandates in 2020?
Oh
It
yeah.
was a policy. So you could move the way you wanted to move. It was a policy that went targeted everyone, whatever your color of your skin, it targeted everyone. Everyone had to shut down their business, not just one set of group of people had to shut down their business. Everybody had to wear a mask, not just one group of people had to wear a mask. And when the injections came out, they mandated and forced people to do that, or you lose your job. Churches got shut down. People couldn't go to church, praise and worship. So if we want to talk about racism moving forward, if we look at what it really means in their language, in their dictionary, it is a set of policy targeted to the society, the people that elected to be black, people that elected to be white, people that elected to be Hispanic on the driver license application, that we as people contracted into this society. And because we contract into this society, guess what we have to do? Obey their rules, obey their laws, because we are in a what? A contract. It
Wow.
all brings us back to this. And I hope I try to make it plain for some people. And it's not to offend anybody, but it's to continue what Kanye is doing. It's to continue that legacy of educating people and getting people from out of this oppressed society. Recontract yourself back to self-governing. Recontract yourself back to educating yourself. Recontract yourself to listening, connecting the dot. Go back to your tribe. Go back to your nation. Find out who you are. Invest time in yourself to know that you are a human being and you are not a citizen. You're not. You are a presumed citizen because you contract to be a presumed citizen until you know how to rebut that I am a man, a living woman. No, I'm not a more if anybody ever asked, but guess what? They're a nation too. Because guess what? You don't see them in. You don't see them on the driver's license either.
That's right.
And they was one of the first ones that recognized the United States. They have a treaty with the United States.
All right. Titan Swarton says, thank you for education. Ooh. Educating. You're educating. Listen, brothers and sisters, and anyone else that's tuned in, even if you are not of African descent, this is important for everybody. I don't even think everybody understands. You can sit back and be like, hey, that's not my problem. I'm not black. I'm not worried about it. But what Dr. Smith is talking about tonight affects everybody in this country. I don't even think you realize how deep this goes. She even dropped the gem and told you what book to get in the edition.
Yes.
If you paying attention, you better go to Amazon right now. Go ahead and cop that. Go ahead and cop that. December 13th. That's an important date. You better make sure you write that down and look that up too. I'm paying attention. You dropping all type of golden nuggets on this show tonight. And we think
they can look up Executive Order 14067. Now
this how Dr. Smith called me up. Hey Daniel, you know about Executive Order 147. I'm like, huh? What? I don't know what. I am not a law student. Now I'm a student of many things, okay? But of law, I am not. So I thank God for your friendship, because you have really put me on to a lot of very important information that we need to know right now, as good old T.I. would say, expeditiously, because a lot of things are about to change expeditiously, and we need to know. We need to be in the know. We need to know the next move. You dropped nationalists. You dropped that too. I'm just pointing out some things that I know that the average ear is gonna just go right past, like, what they talking about? They ain't talking about that. We talking about a lot. You might want to replay this on YouTube, because we are talking about. Dr. Smith is talking about a lot. I'm just listening. Yeah, it's refreshing.
And that's why I came into your show, and you see, I was quiet for a while. Of course, I had to get with my
Yeah.
grandchildren too, but I was quiet because I didn't want it to be, not coming from me, to be a heated type discussion, because we get lost and we get emotional in the heat of the moment. I wanted this to be a learning experience because I know the times that we're heading into. I know where we're going. I know the depthness of where we're going. And a lot of people, you have to be mentally prepared to what's about to take place. They're going to be piloting it in December. It's going to be a pilot, but they have to outlaw cash. Some stores you will see starting to, not accept cash anymore. But they're trying to outlaw that and get you into this digital currency, which is unlawful and unconstitutional. However, until we get a group of people to fight against that, and I'm gonna be one of those. I'm gonna be one of those ones, on the front line to fight against that. People need to know how to get into the movement that and I'm not trying to promote nothing here, Daniel. I just want you to know, but it's so serious that people need to start getting into this movement, because when you get into this movement, you can own your own. When I say own, I mean contractually. When I say own, I mean you can own your own rights, meaning you can put a lien on what's to come. If they give you a blockchain, a United States blockchain account number, a blockchain wallet number, you can put a lien against that to where they cannot control where you spend your money, how you spend your money, how much you spend, until you perform the duties that they want you to do. We as people need to know there is remedy to their bull crap. So whenever there's a risk, there is a remedy. Where there's a right by being violated, there is a remedy to it. So we need to know it can't be just one-sided. It is not one-sided. You feel like your rights been violated, seek your remedy. Seek your remedy. I'm going to tell you where it's going to be at. Your remedy is going to be in the contract. It's going to be there. But if you did not put it there, you have no remedy. You have no remedy. I said something.
Floyd Mayweather gonna struggle when they stop accepting cash. God always need somebody good.
All he got. All he do.
Woo, I know exactly who that is, Mr. Tim Mate. He's the host of Bold and Driven EP. Oh, he's just so funny. He's amazing. You gotta catch him on Tuesday nights.
The digital currency that they're trying to put on people is not even in the U.S. code. It's not even law. It's a mandate. They're going to try to mandate. It's an executive order. It's not even a mandate. So that means Biden bypassed Congress. He didn't want to send it through Congress because he knew it was going to get shut down. And he feel like he's the dictator that he is, hoping that, people accept this. So he's counting on the people to accept this. But when the people do not accept this, you did not automatically contract into it. So you have to, as a people, start talking to your family and your friends. And if you read that executive order, when they say they're trying to protect the consumer, you are not the consumer. I just want you to know that. And you know why you're not the consumer? Because consumer means a natural person. And when you have selected to be Black, white, Hispanic, and all of that in this society, you are a citizen and not a natural person, meaning you're not connected to that nation.
That is a difference.
The consumer will be the Jews, the Moors, and all of that, because they're a nation of people. But as long as you selected who you're going to be selected to be, so do not think this to protect you. You are not the consumer in your status that you're in. And if anybody ever went to jail, I went to jail. Y'all know when I ran for mayor and all that. I don't mind saying that. It was just, me against the public servant and all that. Got dismissed. But I noticed they had a classification window. A classification window. So that classification is to class you, by your race, Black, white, and all that. That is their slaves. They're classified. But you won't see no more at the classification window. You won't see Jews at the classification window. You know why? Because they're not even on the driver's license. They're not even on the driver's license. So you won't see them. When they have a passport, the question is, how do they identify themselves? Through a DS-11 passport. I just said something there. DS-11 passport.
Sure did.
When they classify themselves or identify themselves on that DS-11 passport, do y'all know what that means? Do not detain, do not jail.
Dr. Smith dropping all the cheat codes. I don't think y'all understand. Like,
do not detain. That's why you don't see them in jail.
That's crazy.
That's what this
I
is
have
about.
never heard of that until tonight.
You got a BS11 passport. Do not detain. Do not jail. Do not question.
This was still going to
You see that?
well, they struggled in 2020. They had a drive-through
Oh
strip
yeah,
club.
all
It's
their
crazy.
clubs shut down. Yeah,
I'm sorry, we don't mean to sidetrack. Keep going.
yeah.
It's
Go ahead.
okay. He giving us a commercial break. I like it though. It's okay. So, but this is the reason why. So you won't never see this classification in jail. So what I'm trying to get the people ready for, and especially the one that keep bringing up these nice little jokes, we got to get ourselves prepared for what's to come, because we can't even stop what's coming, but we can be in position to take control of what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with the change? Either is the change is coming. The question is, will you control it? Can you control it? So it's about controlling, and that's where it's at. You are always in control of your own power, but you have to own it.
Yeah.
Do you own your own power? Is the question. Or you let somebody borrow your power? Did you lose your power? Did somebody steal your power? Do you even know you have power? Own your own power. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna take
Thank you so much for joining the show. You don't even understand. Like, I understand everything you just talked about tonight, and I'm like, woo! I hope y'all were taking notes, because if y'all weren't, you better replay this and replay it again, because she just told you a lot of information that nobody else gonna tell you. Number one, because they don't know it. I'm being serious. They don't know it, and they're not doing the research. I'm sorry, ladies, push through it. We're gonna push through it.
I love it.
Cutting up. He know he cutting up. But I'm telling you, like, I didn't know that there's something called a do not detain. Do not detain.
Yeah, you can't detain them.
Never heard of that.
You can't question them.
I need to get one of those. So I need to get on it. Guys, I dropped the mic. There's really nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. This went way past Kanye West.
But that's the path that Kanye West is trying to put the people on. Right. So I just want to do it expeditiously.
So I'm saying, like, I couldn't have asked for more. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you hit the nail on the head. All the other stuff that me and Shantira was going to talk about was superficial, but you went underneath the skin. You got deep, right? You know, when you get that back massage and you need that muscle worked out, you worked all that out. It's good now. We brand new. Here we go. He acting up. Last thing, churches better revamp the collection plate. No, seriously though. Seriously. Now, kid, I don't know what the church is gonna do.
Exactly.
I remember, y'all. Let me tell you about this story one time. It's real quick, because I know we've been on it for an hour, and we can go longer than that, child, because there's so much to talk about. But we'll slow it down and wrap it up for tonight. But before we go, I got to tell y'all this story about church, and I won't name the church because I'm just not gonna name it. Anyways, it's too big. I still remember, by the way. I just don't go anymore. But we were trying to get up to go to the restroom. You know what? Let me stop lying. We were getting ready to leave, okay? And it was right at the time where they were passing around the collection plate.
Yeah.
Do you know this pastor yelled at everybody and said, "Stop moving. Don't get up." And we looking around like, is he talking to us? Like, me and the whole family, my husband, the kids, everything. We looking around like, he can't be talking to us, right? He was talking to us and everybody else that was trying to leave. He said, "You need to sit down and do what the Lord told." I mean, just going out. I'm not even, Lord. If I'm lying, I'm flying, and I'm not flying. Okay. This is off his mind, because every person, I guess, that he saw getting up out of their seat was $1 or $2 that was leaving the church. And I was like, so that's what this is all about. And this was about 5 years ago.
Wow.
It took me until then, though. I'm saying, like, 5 years ago is when I started realizing that it was more about a business than it was about God. You know?
Right.
At least at that church, you know. And I won't throw shade. I'm just gonna
a lot of churches is that way.
That's right.
Joel Osteen.
What they say, we appreciate the kind that jingle, but we want the kind that folds. Yeah. Like that. Coming to America quote. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you, ladies, and I also want to thank everyone that stayed with us and watched this whole episode from beginning to end. There was a lot of gems dropped. A lot of gems dropped.
They
And
don't have no question. Anybody?
let's see.
Churches is a hustle.
Yeah, they were saying churches are a hustle. They're still talking about the church. Lord forgive me for saying that on
Pastor
the
Family
YouTube.
dip move.
Pastor know the family dip move. I'm done. That man said he wasn't gonna lose $1. Okay. I was shocked. I have never, you know, another thing that shocked me when I went to a different church, because called myself leaving that church to go to a different one. Went to a different church, and this was during the time I think that election time was coming up. And this man started talking about Trump and versus whoever was running against him. I said, you know what? I just can't do this. I just can't do it. Y'all talking about politics. Y'all yelling at us because we want to leave. What is this a cult or is this the church? Because I just wanted to come to get the word of the Lord. And y'all over here trying to hold us hostage. Or trying to
Correct.
get who to vote for. This is just no. Stop it, pastors. What are y'all doing?
So if you didn't vote the right way, they wasn't gonna make you leave.
I don't know. He was just like, well, if you don't vote for Trump and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I ain't coming back here either. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You just have bad luck with churches on that time.
And these pastors are crazy. Some of them. I'm sorry, but they are. Anyways, child, let me stop before these church people come for me. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning into the Susan Talk podcast. We will be back sometime next week because we have so much more in store. And I have so many different video clips that I want to share with you guys because I'm petty. And also because I really want the people who don't understand what we're talking about tonight, I would really like for you to come forward. I want to know what's in your brain. Or are you too emotional to have this adult conversation? Because I've run into so many emotional people. And guys, just like Dr. Smith said tonight, you cannot allow your emotions to lead you, even though I'm the main one. Because I will get up in your face and start yelling if I'm passionate in a minute. But I don't mean any harm. I'm just trying to get my point across. Bold and Driven says, no, when churches started pushing the jab. Ooh, that's
Big point.
we got to
Yeah.
talk about that too. We got to talk
Yeah.
about that too. It's been enough time that has passed so that we can talk about that. We'll talk about that next week along with many other topics. So,
Right.
guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out Miss Demetria Smith page on Facebook. She has some classes that she offers. You might want to get with her and get with her pricing and everything and just get educated. That's really what it's about, getting educated, because things are going to happen. Things are changing right now. Things were changing back in 2020. I tried to tell y'all, but y'all didn't want to listen to me. But anyway, I'm going to stop running my mouth. Y'all have a good night, okay? Shantira, thank you so much for being a guest. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Until we meet again, guys, we'll see you
Bye-bye.
next time.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye, y'all.